Rambo, Last Blood, the legend comes home. Not really. Well, I'm guessing that's the tagline. Yeah. Not the not really part, I just added that. Because he doesn't really come home. Okay, well, let's get into it. Rambo, Last Blood is from 2019, lasts about an hour and a half, and it stars Sylvester Stallone as Rambo. So Last Blood, wait, Last Blood, so is there a First Blood? There is a First Blood. Oh, that's just joking. No, there is a First Blood. Have you never seen it? No.
Well, that's something we shall have to remedy, isn't it?
We'll have to watch that soon. That is a classic. This is not. Well, before we get into it, we'll just quickly tell you that this is a movie about John Rambo. He's living a happily retired life with a woman and her daughter. Is it his wife? I do not know who this woman is. I don't know his relationship to her. I do know that the daughter thinks of him as an uncle, and the woman says, this man, John Rambo, has been more of a father to you than your real father. And I don't know what the relationship is. It's really confusing. Anyway, you seen this before? I've seen this before. I saw this in the cinema. I saw it on a Friday morning. I had a couple of things to do in my closest cinema town. So I went along and I thought I'll go to the cinema, 11 AM. I went in, bought my ticket, took a seat, and the room was dark, as it should be, yeah. But the screen curtains were closed. There was no lighting on, no floor lighting, no, seat numbers, nothing was lit up. The place was in darkness, and I sat for about 5 minutes thinking, is something going to happen? And eventually I had to go out and say to the staff, can you put Rambo on? So they went, oh sorry, we didn't think anyone was in. I went back inside and sat with my snacks, and then the curtains quickly opened and the movie came straight on. No trailers, no build up, no switch off your phone, nothing, just straight into the movie. A private screening of this terrible movie. Well, I don't think it's terrible, but yeah, private screening, which is pretty cool, but yeah, not the dream scenario of a private screening. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the posters. So this is the one I'm familiar with. Sylvester Stallone as Rambo, standing with an explosion or fire behind him, holding a weapon, looking old as hell. Compare that to the first poster. Look at that handsome young man. Right, okay, well, we all get older. I don't. Anyway, let's have a look at the next poster. I like this one better. Just black and white, colourful text, just him standing holding a knife, looking like a human, rather than a nullified corpse like in the last one. It doesn't look that bad. Oh, I like this one. The text going down the way. Sylvester Stallone in the middle of the text with a rifle, it looks like, and the cornfields behind him. That is really cool. I like this one. That's not bad, actually. Oh, look at this one. This is when he was about 30. What's this? That's rubbish. That's nothing to do with this movie. This might be a concept poster, as in it was created before the film was confirmed or made or whatever. But yeah, they've taken a picture of Rambo back in the day and just written the words Last Blood on it. Let's talk about the movie. So Rambo Last Blood, as I said, Rambo is living on a ranch somewhere with a woman and her daughter. At the end of the last movie, we saw Rambo return to America, head to his father's old farm, I guess, and that seems to have come to nothing because now he's living with these people. But he's quite happy, tending his horses, and he has a secret labyrinth of tunnels under the house, under the whole ranch. What's he doing? He goes in there and relives the horrors of Vietnam.
Take him down!
Make no mistake about it. We are going to win.
Just get a comfy chair, mate. Yeah, I don't know why he's built a series of tunnels, but yeah. Gabriella, the niece, by the way, she says she's going to college soon, that she's going to have a big party tonight. And Randall says, can I come? And she's like, no, because last time you just stared at people and creeped them out. He's a pervert.
Remember what happened last time? You freaked them out.
Why?
Because you wouldn't stop staring at them.
No. Yeah, I do that sometimes, but it's not intentional.
What? That's no excuse. My God. Anyway, he says, well, tell you what, I don't want you going to any nightclub or anything. Why, who are you? Why don't you use the tunnels? Bring your friends here. They can party in the tunnels. What? They're going to die. They do come, have a party in the tunnels, and then when they all leave, Gabriella says to her mum and Rambo, whatever he is to her, I'm going to go to Mexico to find my father. I just want to find out why he left when I was a baby. I want to find out what kind of man he is. And they both tell him straight away, he's a dick. They say he's a bad man. He's not someone you want in your life, but she says she has to go. She has to do it. So she does it. She says she's got a friend in Texaco. Texaco? She says she's got a friend. She says she's got a friend in Mexico called Giselle. Yeah, so she goes to Mexico, meets Giselle, meets her dad, who is a dick, and then Giselle says, let's go to a club where Gabriella is instantly trafficked. Yeah. She is kidnapped, drugged, and taken to an underground chamber with like 50 other young women who will be sold as sex slaves. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's dark. It is dark. Giselle calls Gabriella's mother and says, Gabriella went out. I've not seen her since. I'm a bit worried. She sold her out. Yeah, she did, but she's not going to tell her mum that, I guess. So Rambo says, right, I'll go and find her. Yes, go and kick ass. He goes to Mexico, goes and sees the dad, who is a dick, threatens him, and then goes and finds Giselle and says, oh, where is she? Yeah, Giselle's like, oh, I don't know what's happened, Mr. Rambo. She's disappeared. I haven't seen her since she went to meet her dad. And then Rando sees she's wearing a bracelet that Gabriella's mother gave Gabriella. And she says, so he pulls out a massive knife and threatens this teenage girl. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, she deserves it really. So she eventually admits to what's happened and she says, I'll take you to the nightclub where I meet guys who give me money to take them girls. She points out a guy and then he just lets her go. Punch her in the face. Well, nothing happens to her. She gets off scot-free. But he follows the guy who is the first point of contact for Giselle and any traffickers. He's the one who'll drug women and take them to the big bad guys. The Martinez brothers and their gang. Yeah, we'll get there. Because Rambo follows this guy to his car and just absolutely tortures him. Yeah, this is a graphic movie, by the way. It's a long way from the first blood. But yeah, he uses his fingers to dig through the guy's flesh and snap his collarbone. How strong is he? That's pretty strong. Just poke through someone's flesh. But he gets the information he needs. He finds out where the Martinez brothers operate. He goes to the slums, basically. And he's instantly spotted by about 50 guys. They all surround him and kick his head in. They do kick his head in. The Martinez brothers are there. One of them cuts Rambo's face with a massive knife. His own knife. Well, yeah. And the other one finds a picture of Gabriella in his pocket and he says, aye, this is why you're here. Well, I'm going to make her my own personal pet project. Yeah, so he goes and he drugs her and does stuff to her and leaves Randall for dead. Luckily, there's been a woman, an undercover cop, I think she is, watching this all happen. So when the gang leave, she goes, takes Rambo, nurses him back to health, tells him what goes on in Mexico, tells him where the Menendez brothers, where the Martinez brothers operate, where their brothel is, and all this stuff, and then sends him back to America. Yeah, just go stay in America, mate. Call Liam Neeson, he'll sort it. He heals up for a couple of days, and then he goes and finds a brothel, and he goes in with a hammer and just smashes every guy's head in with a hammer. Fair enough. And he tells girls to start leaving, but they're all too scared. And then he finds Gabriella, takes her, gets her into his car, and drives back to America. And she dies on the way. That's dark. This is, like I said, a dark movie. And I could not believe it when she died on the way. There's no reason for that character to die. She could just be changed forever. She could be mentally scarred. She could be addicted to drugs. Anything, but I don't understand why they chose to have her die. My God. So, he goes home, tells her none, and then says, leave. Go away. This is, I think it's her house. I don't know, but she leaves anyway. She says, there's nothing for me here. I'll be sad for the rest of my life. And he basically says, oh well, bye. See you later. Yeah. And then he heads back to Mexico. And he goes straight to the Martinez brothers' house. Yeah, he finds one of them is in the shower. So we don't see what happens. But he kills all the security guards horrifically. Doesn't just cut their throat, he'll cut their throat and stab them 50 times. Anyway, gets inside, finds one of the Martinez brothers, the one that's scarred him, the skinny one. This is Victor. We don't see Victor being killed, but we see Rambo going into the bathroom as Victor's in the shower. And then we cut to the next morning, and Victor's beheaded corpse is tied to the bed with a photo of Gabriella knifed into his chest. Yeah, then we see Rambo driving home, throwing Victor's head out the window. That'll be nice. Families use this road. Yeah. And then Rambo goes home and sets up his tunnels. Yeah, turns it into death traps. He just Home Alone, Skyfall, whatever else. He just sets up all these horrific traps because he knows Victor's brother Hugo. Victor Hugo, get it? I mean, they're not French, but still. That probably made more sense if they were French. Anyway, Hugo and his entire army come to America and come to Rambo's ranch. Good luck, guys. So they approach the house, Rambo set up tripwires and explodes, killing a few of them. And then Rambo pops out the ground like a gopher and starts shooting people and then says, come and get me, and goes back under the ground. He does. So Hugo and his army follow him into the tunnels, and now it's an montage of so many horrific deaths. Yeah. One guy gets like a gardening fork to the face, and it splits his face in two places. One guy gets his foot cut off at the ankle, and then shot in the head. Two guys fall into this like stake trap. They're walking along, the ground opens up, they fall on some stakes, so they're dead, and then Rambo's like, I'll just shoot them 20 times each anyway. Yeah, they're already dead, otherwise wasted ammo.
You can't show that tape.
Anyway, it's all stuff like that. Really gory, really horrific. It's like Eli Roth directed this bit. It is full on with blood and guts and gore. Cool thing though, Rambo plays some music for the guys to die to. He plays 5 to 1 by The Doors, which is a slow song, but it works, it's effective. I like that choice of song for this scene, and yeah, full on brutality. Eventually, it comes down to just Hugo and Rambo, of course. Rambo's back in the house down now, and he talks to Hugo over the speakers, and he's like, hey, you want me? Come and get me. I could have killed you 50 times by now, but I wanted you to be last. So, if you want to survive, follow the lights. And then starts a chain of explosions behind Hugo. Yeah. Hugo runs out the tunnels, following the lights, and finds himself in Rambo's barn. Hugo stalks through the barn looking for Rambo, but Rambo is up above with a bow and arrow, and he fires at Hugo, pins him to the darn door. Yeah, good few arrows go into him. Rambo comes down and he says, I want you to know what it feels like when your heart has been cut out. So he cuts him open, reaches into his body, and takes his heart out. Hugo dies looking at his own heart in absolute agony and terror. And he deserves it. Oh yeah, he does. But yeah, it is such a far cry from First Blood. During the whole montage of people dying, Rambo has caught a couple of bullets. Yeah, so he's killed Hugo, goes onto his torch, sits in the rocking chair, and dies. Nope. It's left ambiguous. Nope. We see him after this riding on a horse quite happily. Yeah, I thought it was going to be that's Rambo's last stand, he's dead, but he's done what he needed to do first. Or, yeah, like you said, ambiguous. We could have been left to think, does he die? Does he not? It's up to you to interpret it or to decide. But no, we see him riding a horse quite happily. Now the end credits are pretty cool because we get a little montage, clips from every movie before this, every Rambo movie. Oh. So, wait, I thought it was just First Blood and Last Blood. No. There's First Blood, Last Blood, no wait a minute. There's First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, right? Rambo 3, Rambo First Blood Part 2, yeah. And then Rambo 3, yes, yeah. And then we've got, I know, don't even go into it, it's a whole big thing. Anyway, and then we've got Rambo, what? Yeah, it's just called Rambo, it's Rambo 4, but it's the fourth movie, but it's called Rambo. And then, in some places it's called John Rambo, which I think is a better title. And then, Rambo Last Blood, Jesus Christ. They do get more action oriented, and the last two movies especially are really bloody, really gory, loads of like heads exploding and things like that. But we get, yeah, a little montage in like sepia tone or black and white or whatever, and it's quite nice, I quite like that. And it's the best thing about this movie, because this was not enjoyable at all. Did I like it? No. Well, I think when we watch First Blood, you'll have a different opinion, because First Blood garnered so much goodwill for me towards this character, John Rambo, that by the time Rambo Last Blood came round, I just couldn't dislike it totally. I don't think it's a great film, I don't think it's a very, very good film, but I enjoyed watching Rambo, and you know, I'm a fan of Stallone, I'm a fan of the character of Rambo. I'm not a person who supports the whole rah any country. I'm not a person who supports let's all have a gun, let's take out Mexicans, none of that. But I didn't not enjoy this. I'll put that away. Anyway, to get into trivia, yeah. Early versions of this movie had Rambo saving some people from a storm at the start. Alright, so setting him up as a hero. Yeah. That is correct. Yeah, well, obviously. Sylvester Stallone reprised the role of Rambo after this. Did he? Yeah. In Mortal Kombat 11, he voices John Rambo. Ah, right, that's pretty cool they got Stallone to do it. Yeah. Must have cost a lot. It must have. But I've got that game though. I don't think I've properly played it. Let's play it right now. Right, well, let's finish the trivia first. No, right now. No. Play trivia. Right, one more. The original screenplay for this movie was too over the top for Stallone. What? This is it toned down? Jesus Christ. What was going on in the original? I don't know. I did hear actually that Hugo's death was far more graphic. What? He already tore out his heart and cut him open? I think originally he pulled out his spine or something like that from what I've read. Jesus Christ. Right, enough. Anyway, that's Rambo Last Blood from 2019. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think Rambo has evolved or devolved? Have you seen this movie? Did you see it when it came out? Have you seen it recently? Let us know what you think. Hit like, hit subscribe, watch another video. Don't push me.